Hi, I'm Lori Brown. Let's Pondercast. Think back, way back to the last half of August, the moment that you noticed the long summer days were shorter. The beautiful sunsets were starting earlier and plunging you into the night earlier, and maybe when you noticed, your heart just sank just a little bit. Summer's ending. And then think back, probably about a month ago, the first morning when you realized you were getting dressed for work in the dark and leaving work in the dark, and the whole day was happening without you. It seems so unfair not to be outside when there's daylight. And now here we are, Winter Solstice, and it registers that this is the longest night of the year. Dark, dark, and more dark. The word solstice means sun standing still. Yeah, and not anywhere close to here. Today, the sun was directly overhead at noon on the Tropic of Capricorn. Chile, Australia, Brazil, Argentina, Madagascar, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, and Botswana. Those people are thinking much more steamier thoughts today than we are. We northern people are stuck in the cold and the dark and about to fall into winter and Christmas. Whenever I think of this longest night of the year, I think of this song. The lamp is burning low upon my tabletop. The snow is softly falling. It's the quiet, right? The low light and the dark in that song. Oh, and those bells, those little sleigh bells that Gordon Lightfoot puts in there. That, to me, is winter solstice. If you are a Christmas kind of person, there is probably and miraculously a tree inside your house, and that tree is covered with lights. Crazy. And on this longest night, perhaps sitting there looking at your tree, you might wish the night could be a little longer. But then you fall asleep on the couch and wake up startled and turn off the lights and get to bed. The winter solstice has us making our own light. Look down your street. All those Christmas lights. It's as if we were all afraid of the dark. Way back, way before there was such a thing as Christmas, your ancestors could have been card-carrying members of the cult of the unconquered sun. On December 25th, way back around 284, you'd be celebrating in the streets of Rome, bowing down to the sun god, encouraging its return. You know, I could get behind that. How about you? Christianity came along and wanted to rain on the sun god's parade, and so chose December 25th to have its big bash. And so it goes. Well, tonight, in the Northern Hemisphere, the sun may not be conquered, but it has certainly turned and ran. Retreat, retreat. What to do? How to bring it back? From our outpost in the north, let's cajole the sun to return to us. And in many ways, we still do it in the same ways our pagan ancestors did. We pull the only seemingly live thing from outside to inside, the evergreen. We attempt to cover our barren cold world with living green, a token of our hope that the earth once again might really get green again and stuff will grow. Honestly, I feel so much more comfortable with pagan traditions than anything else on offer, but I don't think I can afford all the crystals and the dream bags and the ritual jewelry. Oh, yeah, and the human sacrifice on the winter solstice to renew the fields, that slows me down a tad. I asked you on Twitter what kind of a ritual seems appropriate for winter solstice here in 2017. I was suggesting a dance with a snow shovel or a ceremonial boot toss. Your suggestions? Campfire in your yard and burn all the cardboard from all those delivered boxes of those Christmas gifts you ordered. Or hang suet balls in trees in the moonlight. How about the annual ceremonial peeing of your name in the snow? Aha, yeah, but what do the women do? Roll their eyes and lock the door? How about a long, slow sigh of relief under the sun? Here's a good one. Wooden impaled maple marshmallow sacrifices over campfire flames. There were lots of tweets about stargazing and campfires. One ponderer wrote, "For the past 2 years I've read Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost at my daughter's school." That's lovely. I would love to read that right now, but it's not in the public domain, so I can't, but you can. That's very much in the vein of what Iranians do on winter solstice. They get together, they eat lots of fruit and nuts and things like that. They drink and they read poetry together. What a lovely thought. Some suggestions for your own winter solstice ceremony. Anyway, back to our long, dark night. How dark can we go? Leonard Cohen knew a lot about the dark. There was someone who drank down the dark and reported back. Let's turn off the lights and get us some dark on this longest night. There. That's better. What do you see? Sitting on my couch, looking toward the big bay window from my corner apartment, I see the park across the street and the stoplight, green, yellow, and red, bouncing off the snow through my window. The wall of my living room glows green, yellow, red all night long. The street lights, 3, splash white light along my ceiling. And way, way across the almost dark park, I see a 20-story apartment building, lights all the way up. And some of them are Christmas lights. Yes, lots of lights here. You know, with good eyesight, you could read in this room with all the lights off. This is not darkness. When was the last time you experienced real darkness? Cottage on a moonless night darkness. Your first basement apartment darkness. I'm talking about that kind of unnerving, dizzying darkness that has you frozen in place. The kind of darkness you can feel on your skin. You can't see the ground in front of you. You are terrified to take the next step. You are unmoored. You are in a void. All our human striving ends with real darkness. We have to put all our daytime activities away. They can't survive in the darkness. The night forces us to accept that that part of us is done. And for the first time that day, we turn inward. Turning off your lights is kind of like turning off desire. Desire for more everything. Power, money, influence, gratification, reward, attention, productivity. Turn off the lights, and all of that loses some power. They say that your soul grows in the dark. Thoughts in the dark have more weight. You question more deeply. There's a feeling there. Wistful? Maybe melancholy, bittersweet. I feel it like a yearning for something deeper. And that something deeper is here with you in the dark. That sounds terrifying to the daytime you. So, most of us entering our gloomy rooms on this longest night of the year, we try to banish the dark. String those lights, light up the night. Look, I love Christmas lights more than most people, but I also love darkness, and I lament its slow demise. 80% of children born today in North America and Europe will never know a night dark enough to see the Milky Way. How do you measure that loss? Mental health, physical health, art, innovation, fewer astrophysicists, fewer astronomers. When I told my father I was doing this Pondercast about dark and the winter solstice, he reminded me of something I'd half forgotten. Every summer when we were in Nova Scotia, we went to my grandmother's farm, and my father and I had a ritual. After I was in my pajamas, he would pick me up and take me outside on clear nights to look at the stars. Now, that part of southwestern Nova Scotia has some of the darkest skies in North America, so the stars and the Milky Way are breathtaking. The ritual was looking up in the sky for the Laurie Brown star. Surprisingly, he would be able to find it every time. My dad believes my fascination with the darkness started right there and then. It would actually prove terrifying for my parents. When I was 3, I would leave the bottom bunk in the bedroom of our apartment in Toronto and go to the window and curl up on the windowsill behind the curtains. I wanted to see what was going on out there in the dark. The first time I did it, and they came to check on my sister and I before they went to bed, they freaked. I was gone. Neighborhood search, the whole 9 yards. But there I was, happily behind the curtains, asleep, getting as close to the night as I possibly could. Leaving the past behind now, though. There are things in the darkness that I desperately need at the end of the day. A need to feel connected to something outside my head and outside of the box of the room I'm sleeping in. The need to feel part of something very, very large before I can feel myself relax and go to sleep. Or to put it another way, a need to feel very small once again. The window needs to be open. I need to hear and smell and see what's on the big screen before I can let myself lose consciousness. Grabbing on to the world while letting go. Very confusing, I know. But lots of important things happen in the darkness, like kissing. We close our eyes when we kiss. I always thought it was because our heads were just too damn close to focus. Well, that is true, but it turns out that's not why we do it. We close our eyes so our brain can give up on processing visual stuff and move to feeling each other in our bodies. Our brains can't handle processing visual information and tactile information at the same time. Like, try kissing in the daytime with your eyes open. It feels like kissing on Skype. I've had kisses that felt that way for sure, but they didn't last long. Moving on, we also close our eyes when we dance and when we make love. Close your eyes and turn on different parts of your brain. So turn off the lights and sink into the darkness. I am an advocate for equal time for darkness. Take back the night. We spend half our lives in darkness, yet we rarely accept it, let alone explore what's in there. To quote Guy Garvey from Elbow, "The night will always win. It has darkness on its side." Darkness is not evil. It is not something to be avoided or controlled or vanquished. There is still a very deep-seated cultural discomfort with the dark. Demons only appear at night. Darkness is a time for wickedness. Darkness is chaos. Darkness is when crimes are committed, which is not true. At the heart of those old stories is a truth, though, that we feel more vulnerable in the dark. In deep darkness, the vastness of the universe above can make us feel very, very alone. And even worse than loneliness is the existential reality that we are utterly, utterly insignificant. Frankly, I think that's a huge relief. Smother me with insignificance. Drown my ego in inky black. Let the deep dark erase my outline in this world. Uncast my shadow into the black and let me rest there. The sun will return, the day will dawn, and the daytime you will pounce on the world again, but not tonight. How different might our days be if we could let the darkness in at night. Have a great night and have a great day. I'm Laurie Brown.